Today marks a monumental milestone. The Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, turns 40. But here's the kicker. While it's a beloved icon for many, a growing number of gamers are left scratching their heads, wondering, what's the big deal? As we celebrate this anniversary, it's worth exploring how the NES fits into the modern gaming landscape. Is its legacy still as vibrant as ever, or is it slowly fading into the annals of history? 4 decades ago, the NES made its debut in the United States, though its launch was far from the synchronized global event we're accustomed to today. It was a gradual rollout, with gamers in the West eagerly embracing the console that promised to let them play with power. Europe followed suit, but the NES faced stiffer competition from Sega, which had already established a strong presence across the pond. Despite this, the NES carved out its place in gaming history thanks to a stellar library of games from Nintendo, Capcom, Konami, and the British powerhouse Rare. Let's face it, you couldn't play Mario on a Mega Drive, and that exclusivity was a game changer. For years, the NES dominated the retro gaming scene, fueled by its undeniable quality, sales success, and the nostalgia of those who grew up with it. But here's where it gets controversial. As time marches on, is the NES losing its grip on the collective consciousness? With new generations of gamers who never experienced the NES firsthand, the console's once unshakable legacy seems to be waning. When today's kids rummage through their parents' closets, they're more likely to find a PlayStation 2 than a dusty NES. And let's be real, how many of you reading this were even born in 1985? It's not that respect for the NES has diminished, far from it. The console's transformative impact on gaming is undeniable. But the number of true NES aficionados, those with first-hand affection for the system, appears to be shrinking. At least, that's the impression I've gotten from the lukewarm reactions leading up to this 40th anniversary. Is the NES becoming a relic of the past, or is there still a place for it in modern gaming? With the vast array of gaming options available today, it's no surprise that passions are shifting. And let's be honest, anyone who gatekeeps younger players for not having experienced the original Super Mario Bros. Before diving into Super Mario Bros. Wonder is fighting a losing battle. The NES has also been analyzed and celebrated ad nauseum over the years, with retrospectives popping up every 5 years like clockwork. Haven't we already covered everything there is to say about its 15th, 20th, 25th, 30th, and 35th anniversaries? Perhaps. But here's the part most people miss. Revisiting the past is always worthwhile, especially when it's easier than ever to enjoy NES games. Nintendo has done a commendable job of making its 8-bit library accessible, with a robust selection of 79 games available on Nintendo Switch Online. From classics like Super Mario Bros. To curiosities like Urban Champion, there's something for everyone. But here's the catch. The possibility of games being removed from subscription services, as happened with one Super NES title, has left some gamers wary of relying solely on platforms like NSO. Fortunately, there are countless ways to play NES games in 2025. Maybe you've got an NES Classic Mini sitting under your TV. Or perhaps you've invested in a Mr. Analogue NT, or even a clone console. Heck, you can even play these games in your browser, though they deserve better in my opinion. Or, are you one of the diehards still playing on your original NES? Maybe you've gone all in on a retro setup with upscaling that rivals the PS5 Pro? And then there's the elephant in the room. Do you even play NES games anymore? No judgment here. We're genuinely curious about how you're engaging with Nintendo's 8-bit legacy in 2025. Let us know in the poll below, and join us in celebrating the NES's 40th birthday. Why not dust off an old cartridge this weekend and relive the magic? Proceeds to boot up UFO 50 on the Switch. After all, GOTY season is just around the corner. Tick-tock.